those of them who keep this city, this capital city, working, who are the silent achievers from our states, who carry the burden of this country. Let's gather them together and celebrate them. So I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening to come and celebrate the end of what we can term has been a very difficult year for us as a country. In my remarks, I'm going to talk about you, because all evening you have been talking about me. Just listening to the MC and his very incisive and deep commentaries and relaying the facts about who we are, what makes us different, what makes us tick. You just come to the realization that we are a very unique people in this sub-region of our continent. Because if you look at the history, 500-600 years ago, there are very few people who were able to conquer their territories. If you look at the northern part of the subcontinent, there were external influences that determined the political and social trajectories of those communities. We were the only ones in this part of the world that on our own terms evolved a social-political system which kept us going for the better part of 500, 600 years. So that makes us very, very unique. Whatever has happened in history has happened, but it doesn't remove from who we are. I keep saying to our people, the factors that created the Benin Empire still exist today. The blood in the veins of those heroes past, who without the technologies of today accomplished what they accomplished 600 years ago, that same blood still flows in all our veins today. And it was as a result of just certain fundamental human values which we extolled. That was what built us to what we are. So if we can today go back to those same values, we'll accomplish more than our ancestors did. So having been privileged with a very unique opportunity of becoming governor, here is somebody who never contested class elections or won class elections. And his first election was that to be governor, and he won and became governor. It was clear that God wanted something different. He did not want the old order. If he wanted things to continue the way they used to be, he would have brought somebody who understood and knew how it used to be. He wanted something totally different. And that is what I represent. So tonight, what we are doing is to say, look, almost each and every one of you here, and many more who are not here, have accomplished on your own, without anybody pushing for you, because of who you essentially are, that Edo person. You went out there, diligently did your work, most of the time nobody to speak for you, and worked your way up the ladder as officers, assistant directors, directors, in all the agencies you are. I said, if nobody recognizes you, let me, your governor, say, I recognize and acknowledge you. And that our politics should be about you, protecting and supporting you. That is, as far as I'm concerned, what it should be. For us, whether it was the Empire days, Benin Empire, or today, the most important factor, the most important resource we have are our people. Edo people, the quality of our values, the quality of the knowledge we've always had is what built what we had, and is what is building each and every one of you today. So for me, politics is about people. It's about your people. And that is why I said this evening, let's start this process of getting to know each other, getting to fraternize, getting to support each other. Let us know who is doing what, who is where. And then I will also come and explain and tell you what we need to do to give others at home the kind of opportunities you've got or you had to become who you are today. So over the last 3 years, the focus has been on our people. And I have said, if I'm not remembered for anything in history or in our politics, I want to be remembered for one thing. That governor who came and reenacted that core thing about us, which is education. Because if all of us here didn't have the privilege and benefits of having sound basic education, if we were not taught to spell properly, do our sums well at an early age, we would not have been who we are today. So if we had that privilege that has made us who we are today, don't we think we owe it to the millions of younger ones today to impart the same on them? Because whether we like it or not, Edo is so uniquely placed. I've been doing an analysis with some friends on some opportunities, and they've looked around the continent. If you place Edo, Benin City, and draw arrows 3 hours in every direction from Benin, you have take that radius, you have 100 million people within 3 hours from Benin City. Very few cities in Africa have that advantage. So in terms of economic opportunities, let's take it for granted. Build your people first, and they will capture all the opportunities that are available for them. I see it in Edo, and they say in 3 years, oh, we can see. We haven't done anything yet. We haven't done anything yet. Because the opportunities we see are just enormous. And for us, it's to say, look, if we can exploit the opportunities we have as Edo, it will serve as a light for the rest of the country. Is it education? In less than 2 years, Esoha is here. Esoha worked with DFID. We met 2.5, 3 years ago, and we said, listen, let's change education. And she put together a team, mostly of Edo women. And that's what has driven educational reform in Edo today. That like about 300,000 children in Edo today have moved from schooling to learning. From my office, I can tell today whether a teacher is in class or not. I can tell whether a teacher completed his or her lesson notes for that day. And children are now learning. Because the world we're preparing them for is a knowledge world. And as far as I'm concerned, those should be the priorities. Yes. But what we've done, which is even more interesting, is we've used, just working with your people at home. It's not about just computers, it's not about technology, it's about knowledge, information. I have teachers, field officers today, who let me know when a child has not been in school for more than a week, an alert is flagged. That's how we knew that a girl, I think Aisha too, that who from Katsina, who was schooling in Aduwawa Primary School, brilliant girl, disappeared from school, and we started looking for her. and found out that she had been married off to a man in Katsina at the age of 14. And we sent word, tracked, threatened the parents, and brought that child back to school. That's how we found a young boy, can't remember his name now, whose father got blind and was extricated from the family. And this young boy went with his father and was taken by a church group and was living somewhere in Ovia. And we noticed that this child wasn't coming to school. And these field officers went to look for this child and then realized that this was a child supporting an old blind father and couldn't come to school because that father was sick and they didn't have money. So we need to rebuild our society. We need to rebuild our state. And for me, these are the things that are critical and important. The economy is the easiest bit of it. Yesterday, the central bank governor came. We demarcated 120,000 hectares of land for oil palm. And they committed 200 billion. So, the economy is the least. It's people that make money. Money don't make people. So let's build our people first. Let's build our state. And everything else will fall into place. And you gathered here tonight are perhaps some of our greatest assets. Because when I look at the structure of Nigeria, when I look at the fiscal arrangement we have, 36 of our states share 28%. So we get less than 1% from the national purse. 52% is shared here. And all of you are here. So if we network enough at home, we will know what is going on. And we'll get a fair or unfair share of what is available. True or false? True. That is why I made it a point that we must gather together like this as Edo citizens in Abuja. Get to know each other. Get to support each other. Understand what is going on. I've told my parliamentarians, I said, look, in whatever committee you serve, make sure that beyond your oversight, go and find out which Edo person is in that ministry. Find out what their challenges are. When their minister comes to defend budget or defend their programs, say, look, do you know that my brother is in your ministry?
Yes.
Yeah. He was due for promotion last year and they skipped him. Why? Is it because he doesn't have anybody? But you have to let us know also what is going on. That Edo network is very, very important. It is something we take for granted. It's something we are not using at all. It is the biggest weapon we have. Once we can build that network, you'll be amazed at what will happen to us individually and as a collective. So tonight, it's not a night for long speeches. It's a night to just celebrate the season, a night to thank God for what He has done for all of us. In Benin, we're celebrating Igwe. I have to go back and celebrate with the Omonobag tomorrow. I just call all of you to wish you a very Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas and pray that the coming years, particularly next year, will be a bountiful one for all of us. And finally, I want to wish you Merry Christmas.
Yes, please.